Welcome to the Literally First Class podcast, where I will teach you how to overcome anxiety and achieve somatic success. I'm your host, Keri Ford. I'm a somatic success and holistic life coach here to bring humor, insight, and wisdom to the modern day woman that wants to feel alive in her daily life. You ready? Come on, I saved you a seat in first class. Happy Tuesday! Welcome back to another episode of Literally First Class, where there are no leaf blowers currently playing in the background, which is lovely. So today's episode is all around, it's based around a conversation I had with a really amazing woman. And she asked me this question, and I thought, I think everyone needs to hear that question and also hear the answer, because what I do is very hard to communicate and convey because it is a category that I created. Somatic success is a trademark method that I came up with when I realized most of the strategy work that I have ever done has always been spiritual and healing based. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that I could have all the strategy in the world, and if I wasn't aligned to it, or if there was something internally blocking me from doing it, or I wasn't really energetically all into it, there was something that needed to be cleared and released, or that was out of alignment with the strategy to begin with. And so my strategy has always been spiritual, and my strategy with the addition of somatic work has become at the pace of the nervous system. And so it's not to say that I don't have fear and I don't have inner, barriers and I don't ever self-sabotage, because that's not true, except now that I have sabotaged things in the past, that will never happen again to that level, because I know now what that feels like in my body, so I can catch it. But the other thing is like, it is spiritual. It's all fucking spiritual. And she asked this question, and I thought it was really interesting and really amazing, because she said, I didn't even know that this kind of work existed. And I was like, well, yeah, because I kind of created the category. What I say to people and what I consider what I do is applied somatic work to leadership principles and practices. What I often find is that there is either leadership skill set, leadership enhancement, leadership practices, business coaching, or there is the healing work, the trauma therapy, the spiritual, exploration. But how often do we see it brought together? I see it in the space of spirituality and money. I see it in the space of like spirituality and some business coaching, but I haven't seen it with leadership. Who are you being when you lead? And doing it at a really high level, because the higher you go, the smaller the pool of people you actually have to choose from that really understand you, that really can handle mentoring you, that really know the intricacies and the challenges that you specifically face because of the level that you're at. And so what I mean by that is that the women I coach are often breadwinners. They already know success. They probably have 2-3 houses, multiple cars. They have a very high cost of living. And they also have a high overhead, especially if they're an entrepreneur. If they're an entrepreneur, they have a team that they're paying. They have to, at a minimum, bring in a certain baseline, and that's before they even get paid, before they even have their personal expenses taken care of. And then if their personal expenses include multiple houses, et cetera, well, you do the math, right? And there are also different challenges that come up relationally when the woman is the breadwinner. If you think about it, we haven't really had money. Women haven't really been earning money that long. We just got credit cards in 1974. That's well within my mother's lifetime. I'm the first woman in my side of the family to have gone to college and get a college degree. The first woman on my side of the family. That's insane. So this is all new. Being a working mom is another thing to navigate, right? My mom stayed home with me and raised my sister and I and had part-time jobs, but she didn't have a career. She didn't have a college degree, And I'm grateful every day for the sacrifices that she made and the life that she chose, because that was her dream. Her dream was to be a stay-at-home mom and to be, be the home facilitator, the home manager. She loved that. She, gardened and she cooked and she did all those things. I am not wired that way. I have a food garden I just started a couple weeks ago. I already killed a few of the plants. I am trying though. I have attempted sourdough once. I don't like it's, first of all, it smells terrible when it's going through the yeast, let's be honest. And I was like, it does honestly smell like sourdough bread, I guess, but I didn't enjoy the process and it didn't work. I couldn't get the bread to rise. So we have to try that again. Anyway, I'm not the Pinterest mom. I fucking hate minivans. I don't relate to a lot of the other moms. Like, it's painful to me for me to be in the Girl Scout meetings, and I've made myself wrong for that for a lot of years, and I'm just done with it. Like, that story has gone to bed, and it's okay. But now what, right? So you enter this circle of women, or you enter this world where you feel like you're kind of alone, or you're the black sheep, which was my experience most of my life, as you guys know. So, long story longer, the pool at which you can choose from in terms of mentorship around people that really get you becomes smaller, because it's the higher you go, the less people understand you, because there's not many people that are in the 1% like that, truly. And so I offer both. I do the applied somatic work. I have an extensive background in wellness and mental health and well-being. I started as a personal trainer in 2008. So I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified nutritionist. I'm a certified behavior change specialist. I am a certified lifestyle and weight management coach. And I have coached hundreds and hundreds of women over the years through food, intuitive eating, eating disorders, getting their cycle back. I helped one woman get pregnant because she got her period back and was able to actually conceive naturally without in vitro. We've had some really amazing success stories, hundreds of pounds lost, incredible stories. And I did that for a number of years. And then I decided a few years ago that was only part of the equation, that it was also about what they were doing and who they were being in life. And I decided to apply all of that healing work then with the addition of the trauma training somatic practitioner modalities and the spiritual pieces too. So we do that with the leadership work. And so coaching women at the top is really fun. And it's also very specific. Like I said, there's only a handful of people that really get it. And, I even find that sometimes, if I'm being honest, with people I've worked with in the past. Like, if I'm with a business coach, I find it devoid of spirituality and the inner work that has to happen while I'm also implementing the strategy. I don't know if it's because I overthink everything, or that's just become part of the way of being. That's really actually what resonates in my body as I say that. It's become such a lifestyle to me to check in with my body that if something feels off, I can't not clean it up, right? I've got to clean up the inside so that the outside can come through, so that I can clear out whatever is in the way of saying I can't have whatever I'm saying I want on the outside. So it's got to match. And for me, I've never really moved the needle more than when I have done the spiritual and healing work in tandem with the strategy work. Of course, it's not about meditating on a mountain and waiting for shit to manifest. That's not going to work. So it's got to be both. And then on the flip side, I've had healers and therapists and amazing, women or coaches that have helped me in that realm. But then it's they don't know this level of success. They don't, I own a plot of land. Jake has a second home. We have money in a lot of different places. We have a lot of moving parts. I'm responsible for a team of people underneath me. I'm also a mom. We have a divorced household situation with 2 houses, which comes, with that, a different set of things. We have a blended family. There's just a lot of different things. And so the support that I need, I feel at this point, is very specific. And, not every therapist really understands high ticket coaching and money at a certain number. They just don't get that. Or entrepreneurship, which brings up a whole other set of things. Anyway, what I'm painting the bigger picture of here is that most of the time you get one or the other. You rarely ever get both in a way that makes sense, that matches the level of mentorship that you truly need at a certain level. That's what I do. That's why I created the somatic success method. That's the method I take every single client through, whether they're a one-on-one, whether they're a group client. This is the process that we go through in order to achieve the results that they always come away with, inevitably. This episode is presented by Cenegenics. I recently partnered with the leader in the performance health age management industry, Cenegenics. Today's healthcare system is made to treat people with health problems, not prevent them. And that is where Cenegenics comes in. They are the world's best age management health solution, fueled by sophisticated data, advanced technology like the Brainwavy and the DEXA scan I mentioned, and metabolic science. This is for busy women at the peak of their career who also want to achieve peak performance, both cognitively and physically, using a physician-led program that is completely custom to your history, biomarkers, and needs. They've helped more than 49,000 executives, just like me and you, elevate health, reduce stress, and optimize body composition. So we not only look good, but we feel good at any age and any level of leadership. As a brand partner, Cenegenics is offering listeners a free 10-minute consultation to see if the Performance Health program is your next step in elite health. Use my link below in the show notes to book. And so this woman asked me this question. So after we had that, we talked about that. She's like, gosh, I didn't know this existed. I'm like, yeah, that's because it didn't before. Maybe there's some people kind of half-heartedly doing it, but not like us. And so the next question she had was this: how does somebody know if they need you? Would you say you help all women, or what does that look like? She wanted to know, because she's like, I imagine every woman in leadership needs you, but how does someone really know that they need you or that you're the right person? And I was like, oh, that's such a good question. And so there's three ways that women know that they are ready to work with me or that I am the mentor for them. And so those three reasons are this. They know that there is something more. They don't know what the more is. They just know there's something more, and that they are playing, to not lose. They're not playing to win. They're not really maximizing their potential, and that there's something else, that they're just scratching the surface of what is possible for them. They just don't know what that is. So that leads me to the second one, which is that there's probably a blind spot, right? They know there's something, they don't really know what the something is. And the blind spot is that, it feels a little unsettled to them. They're unfulfilled or unsettled despite having all of this success. I mean, women that have come to me that run $50 million enterprises, and they say, I don't know who I am right now. I feel like I'm still finding myself. Or women that run multi-million dollar companies that are self-made, entrepreneurs, and they're just like, I feel like a fraud. I don't feel like I am successful, or I'm having trouble building a team that can support me, right? Every level, I don't care how successful you are, or how famous you are, every level, every celebrity I've worked with, every public figure, they all have an upper level limit at whatever that level is. Every new level reveals a new limit because you've never been here before. So that makes sense, right? And if you're committed to growth like you are because you're listening to this podcast, I imagine that you also have had internal barriers and blind spots that have held you back too. And maybe you don't know what that is, but that's the whole point of a blind spot is you're blind to it. And so that's where I come in and help you break through and figure what that thing out is, pinpoint exactly what that thing is so that you can finally be free of it and move beyond it. Because it's not a matter of if you'll be successful, it's just a matter of when you move through it. And you already know this because you have a high tolerance for risk. You already have a certain level of success. That's why you got to where you are. But now it's time to identify what that blind spot is so that you can move through it. So there's something that's unsettled or not fully expanded. That's number 2. And they know there's something more, but it's this lack of fulfillment despite success feeling. And then the last one is that they know they can't go on at this pace or at this current way anymore, right? So they're pushing away their next level, a new level of success or ease or abundance or good stuff, potentially. They're pushing that next thing away because they're barely able to tread the water that they're swimming in right now, right? Who would want more if it feels like you're drowning and you're barely staying afloat. It reminds me of that Jim Gaffigan skit where he goes, if you want to know what it's like to have a fifth baby, just imagine that you're drowning and someone hands you a child. It's something like that. It's so funny, but it's so true. So if you are treading water and you're doing everything you can to stay afloat and sane and stabilized with what you already have, why would you want more? You're like, I'm barely able to make what I have going on work and feel like I'm doing a good enough job at it. Like, I can't handle what's next. I don't even want to think about what's next. Like, I don't even know that I want more, despite my knowing that there is more, despite my knowing that, like, I've kind of outgrown this space or this level, but like, I don't know what the next thing is. And I've told the story here before, I think around my friend that was pushing away the promotion, because she goes, I just now feel like I have gotten to a place of like balance. I don't know that I want the next thing. In fact, I want to run out of the office when my boss tells me he wants to promote me, because I'm like, no, I don't want to handle more shit. So they push away their next level of success, which might be more easeful. It might be less stressful. And so navigating that very sticky, very specific transitional breaking point is crucial to get your mind right so that it doesn't fuck with you. And here's how that looks. It looks like going through hiring and firing cycles where the common denominator is the leadership by you. It looks like not being able to receive support, a lack of boundaries where you're working all the time. The level of success that you have does not actually feel sustainable because you're burned out already, or you are trying to figure out how to find the hours to sustain what you have. And you know that like you just can't go on with this pace or this type of lifestyle anymore, and that it's starting to cost you, but it's also costing you beyond your health and your mental sanity, whatever could be next, right? You can't dream and innovate and be creative from contraction. Relaxation returns us to the vision. So you can't dream from that place, but you lose the vision when you're in contraction. And your key as a high-achieving, high-performing woman, your key to success is to constantly be connected to the vision, whether you're a CEO, a C-suite, or you're, a founder or what have you. Like, your role is to be the visionary. So you can't lose the vision, or else what have you got? You're just treading water. And so those are the three crucial, markers, I would say, of a woman that is ready to work with me, that is desiring a mentor like me, or that is seeking this type of work in a way that will really have her move through these things, these blind spots and barriers faster, that can lend itself to even more accelerated growth should she want that. And maybe she doesn't want growth right now. Maybe she just wants a little stability and peace and calm and support. And that's okay too, where this is the one place that she doesn't have to be in charge because she's so fucking responsible for everything and everyone else so much already. That is fine too. But what I don't want to see happen is that she sabotages the success she has now, or she burn the ships before she has clarity, or really reconnects to her vision. We can do both at once is my point. And I've done this with multiple clients when they've been in this very, very sensitive, crucial crossroads, which is that like, well, I don't know if I want what I have now still, but I don't know where I'm going yet. And so how do I do that at the same time? And that's a very important place to be that requires outside counsel and mentorship, because we can't see what we don't know, right? We're blind to our blind spots. So I just thought that was a really great question, and I wanted to share it with you. And I thought it was an extremely high level, beautiful conversation. And I also thought, well, this is something I get to answer, because if she's wondering this, then I bet a bunch of other people are wondering as well. Is Keri the right mentor for me? Or how can she support me? Or when is she the right coach for me? Because I hear often like I'm on somebody's vision board, or it's a one-day thing. And that's okay. Maybe you're not ready for me yet. But if you're listening to this and you feel a pull in your body, on your heartstrings, or I'm saying something that you're like, oh my gosh, does she have cameras in my house? Reach out, shoot me a DM. Someone, my team, myself will get back to you, and we'll see if one of the programs is a fit, or if right now makes sense, if it's the right time. But I hope you have an awesome day. Keep it first class.
I hope you enjoyed your flight, and I'll see you on board again soon.
Seriously though, thanks for listening. If you're ready to take this work deeper and upgrade your mind, I want to invite you to join us inside my Millionaire Mindset program. This is where you'll start using my guided meditations to help you overcome anxiety and experience even more abundance. When you join, you'll have access to my entire audio library. Head over to elevatewithkeri.com and we'll see you inside.